Radhe Radhe, Dandavat Pranam. Welcome to Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Mandir, Gopinath Bhavan, Shri Vrindavan Dham. Shri Gurudev Ki Jai, Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai, Rupanuga Gauriya Guru Varga Ki Jai, Patit Pavan Shri Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai, Prem Purushottam Shachinandana Gaura Hari Ki Jai, Radha Vinod Bihari Ju Ki Jai, Radha Ramana Ju Ki Jai, Giriraj Mahārāja Ki Jai, Harinam Sankirtana Ki Jai, Hare Krishna Mahamantra Ki Jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, Nitai Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Okay, so we are beginning with Mangalacharan, the auspicious invocation, calling on all of our Guru Devs, beginning with our own Guru, going back all the way to the original Guru, who is Krishna himself, and his Prem Guru, Srimati Radhika, calling on all of them for their grace and their mercy, starting with Vandeham, Shri Guru, Shri Yuta Padakamalam, page 1 of this book, Shri Gauriya Giti Guccha. Also, Jiva Pavana Prabhu has posted it in the comment section of the thread. So thank you, Prabhu. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavaścha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagano Raghunathan Vitam Kansajeevam Sadvetam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagano Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitaścha Om Ajnanatirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Śrīmad Bhaktivedānta Nārāyaṇa Namine Shri Krishna Lila Katane Sudaksham Audarya Madhurya Gunaśya Yuktam Varam Varenyam Purusham Mahantam Nārāyaṇam Vamshidashan Namami Tridandinam Bhakta Shiromarincha Shri Krishna Pada Vrinataika Vrindi Chaitanya Lila Amrita Sarasaram Nārayanam Tvam Satatam Prapadye Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhaktivedānta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavani Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Vishnupadaya Gaura Presthaya Bhutale Shri Śrīmad Bhakti Prajñā Keshava Yatni Namine Pati Martya Charitraya Swashritanancha Paline Jiva Dukhe Sadartaya Śrī Nama Prema Dayine Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya वृषभानवीने दैनिकाय कृपाभये कृष्ण सम्बन्ध विज्ञान दयिने ब्रह्मवे नमः माधुर्योज्ज्वल प्रेमाद्य श्रीरूपानुग भक्तिदान श्रीगौरकरुणाशक्ति विग्रहाय नमोस्तुते नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्रीमूर्तये दीनकारिणे रूपानुगं विरुद्धापो सिद्धान्तध्वन्तहारिणे नमो गौरकिशोराय साक्षात् वैराग्यमूर्तये विप्रलम्भारसम्बोधे पदं पूजायते नमः नमो भक्तिविनोदाय सच्चिदानन्दनामिने गौरशक्तिस्वरूपाय रूपानुगमनायते गौराविर्भावभूमे स्वं निर्देष्टा सजनप्रिय वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथाय ते नमः वञ्चाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकाकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये जयतां सुरतो मम मन्दं मतिर्गति मत्सर्वस्वपदाम्बोज राधामदनमोहनो दिव्यवृन्दारण्यकल्पद्रुमदं श्रीमद्रत्नागारसिंहासनस्थो श्रीराधा श्रीलगोविन्ददेव प्रेष्ठानिभिः सेव्यमानो स्मरामि श्रीमन्द्रसरसारम्भे वंशिवतस्ततः दार्शन्येऽनुस्वरगोपी गोपीनाथ श्रीयेस्तु नः वृन्दाय तुलसीदेव्यै प्रियायै केशवस्य च कृष्णभक्तिप्रदे देवी सत्यवत्यै नमो नमः पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम् जय श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृन्द चेतोदर्पणमार्जनं भवमहादावाग्निर्वापनं श्रेयकैरवचन्द्रिकाविवरणं विद्यावधूजीवनम् आनन्दं मुनिवर्धनं प्रतिपदं पूर्णामृतास्वादनं सर्वात्मस्नपनं परं विजयते श्रीकृष्णसङ्कीर्तनम् हरेर्नाम हरेर्नाम हरेर्नामेव केवलम् पदो नास्त्येव नास्त्येव So before we continue with the bhajans today, our friend and godbrother Anupam Prabhu in South Africa, we've received news, is in very acute, severe, critical condition at the moment, wherein we don't know if he will remain with us or not. So I urge you to send your prayers, not necessarily for his remaining or not remaining physically with us, but really for his Atma and his benefit in bhakti, that his Gurudev, that his Guru Varga, Gaur Nityananda Prabhu and Radha Krishna will be merciful and keep him close to their lotus feet and always keep him inspired. No matter whatever situation he's in, always running fast in the path of devotion to Krishna. Gurudev kripa karke mujhko bana lena. I can't hear you. Okay. And that is page 360 in this songbook. Hare Krishna. Gurudev kripa karke mujhko apna lena. Gurudev kripa karke mujhko से पार लगा देना। गुरुदेव कृपा करके मुझको अपना लेना। गुरुदेव कृपा करके मुझको अपना लेना। तुम सुख के सागर हो, भक्ति के सहारे हो। तुम सुख के सागर हो, भक्ति के सहारे हो। मेरे मन में समाये हो, मुझे प्राणों से प्यारे हो। मेरे मन में समाये हो, मुझे प्राणों से प्यारे हो। मुझे प्राणों से प्यारे हो। मुझे प्राणों से प्यारे हो। नित्य माला जपूं तेरी, मेरे दोष भुला देना। नित्य माला जपूं तेरी, मेरे दोष भुला देना। गुरुदेव कृपा करके मुझको अपना लेना। गुरुदेव कृपा करके मुझको अपना लेना। मैं संतों का सेवक हूँ, गुरु चरणों का दास हूँ। संतों का सेवक हूँ, गुरु चरणों का दास हूँ। नहीं नाथ भुलाना मुझे, इस जग में अकेला हूँ। नहीं नाथ भुलाना मुझे, इस जग में अकेला हूँ। इस जग में अकेला हूँ। इस जग में अकेला हूँ। तेरे द्वार का भिखारी हूँ, कभी दिल से भूला देना। तेरे द्वार का भिखारी हूँ, कभी दिल से भूला देना। गुरुदेव कृपा करके मुझको अपना लेना। गुरुदेव कृपा करके Prabhupada ki jai, Rupan Guru Varga ki jai, Shri Guru Parampara ki jai. Dandavat Pranama Vaishnavas. Hare Krishna. Ebara Kurunakuro Vaishnava Goshai, page 44. Ebara Kurunakuro Vaishnava Goshai, Ebara Vaishnava Goshai, Patita Pavana Toma Mile ke hona, Patita Pavana Toma Mile ke hona, Kaharo Nikote Gele Papo Dure Jai, Kaharo Nikote Gele Papo Dure Jai. asha charonero dhuli prati janme kori asha charonero dhuli narotame koro doya aponaro boni narotame koro doya aponaro boni ebaro koruna koro Vaishnava Gosha ebaro koruna koro Vaishnava Gosha patita pavana tomar mile ke hona patita pavana tomar mile ke hona Vaishnava Thakur Jaya 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 Vaishnava Thakur Vaishnava Thakur Jaya Vaishnava Thakur Prabhu Kripa Karo More Doya Karo 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 Vaishnava Thakur ki jai Dandavat Pranama Vaishnavas Dandavat Pranam What? Yeah, I'm trying to adjust it so it's not too loud or too soft. Is that Lavanga Mala? Radhe Radhe. Now we're going to call for the mercy of Śrīla Rupa Gosvāmī Pad. Remember, Vaishnavas, keep Anupam Prabhu in your prayers. Shuniyachi Sadhumuke, Bole Sarvajan, page 51. Page 51. Hare Krishna. You know, for the first time, I have actually been held to my word to deliver upon the, all the gifts that I'm offering. One of you has actually held me to it. So remember I offered to send a brand new Damodarāṣṭakam book? They said no, they want this one after we're done with it, after it's all used and everything. This is the one they want. So they won the contest. And I just saw Isha Thakurani's name there, and I offered to devotees that she would make pizza for them, and that Nandini would make enchiladas for them. So I think I'm involving everyone in this. Isha Thakurani also makes really, really good donuts. So maybe we'll have to do one of those as one of the offerings. But you have to go to Sardinia first and join their Harinam Sankirtan party, and then you might get some of that. Okay, page 51. শুনিয়াছি সাধু মুখে বলে সর্বজন শ্রী রূপ কৃপায় মিলে যুগল চরণ শুনিয়াছি সাধু মুখে বলে সর্বজন শ্রী রূপ কৃপায় মিলে যুগল চরণ আহা প্রভু সনাতন গৌর পরিবার আহা প্রভু সনাতন গৌর পরিবার সবে মিলি বাঞ্ছা পূর্ণ করো আমার সবে মিলি বাঞ্ছা পূর্ণ করো আমার শ্রীরূপের কৃপা যেন আমা প্রতি শ্রীরূপের কৃপা যেন আমা প্রতি সে পদয়াশ্রয় যা সে মহাশয় সে পদয়াশ্রয় যা সে মহাশয় প্রভু লোকনাথ কবে সঙ্গে লয়া যাবে প্রভু লোকনাথ কবে সঙ্গে লয়া যাবে শ্রীরূপের পাদ পদ্মে মোরে সমর্পিবে শ্রীরূপের পাদ পদ্মে মোরে সমর্পিবে হেন কি হইবে মোর ধর্ম সখী গানে হেন কি হইবে মোর ধর্ম সখী গানে অনুগত নারোত্তমে করিবে শাসনে অনুগত নারোত্তমে করিবে শাসনে শুনিয়াছি সাধু মুখে বলে সর্বজন শ্রীরূপ কৃপায় মিলে যুগল চরণ শুনিয়াছি সাধু মুখে বলে সর্বজন শ্রীরূপ কৃপায় মিলে যুগল চরণ রূপ সনাতন জয় রূপ সনাতন রূপ সনাতন জয় 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 রূপ সনাতন প্রভু হে 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 श्री रूप गोस्वामी पाद की जय श्री सनातन गोस्वामी पाद की जय रूपानुग गुरु वर्ग की जय सद गोस्वामी प्रभु की जय Ananda Kanda Nitai Chanda. Page is that? There, page 62, Ananda Kanda Nitai Chanda. Radhe Radhe. No. I think I'll be okay. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaur Bhakta Ananda Kanda Nitai Chanda Aruna Nayana Karuna Chanda Ananda Kanda Nitai Chanda Aruna Nayana Karuna Chanda Karuna Pura Saghane Jhura Karuna Pura Saghane Jhura Hari Hari Vani Bolo Re 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 Natakaranga Bhakata Sangha Natakaranga Bhakata Sangha Vividha Bhasho Rasataranga Natakaranga Bhakata Sangha Vividha Bhasho Rasataranga Ishatahaso Madhura Bhasho Ishatahaso ভাষ সঘনে গিমা দোলরে সঘনে গিমা দোলরে পতিত গৌর জপত গৌর পতিত গৌর জপত গৌর দীন রজনী আনন্দ ঘোর পতিত গৌর জপত গৌর দীন রজনী আনন্দ ঘোর প্রেম রতন করিয়া যতন প্রেম রতন করিয়া যতন জগ জনে করু দান রে জগ জনে করু দান রে কীর্তন মাঝো রসিক রাজ কীর্তন মাঝো রসিক রাজ যচন কনৈয়া গিরি বিরাজ কীর্তন মাঝো রসিক রাজ যচন কনৈয়া গিরি বিরাজ ব্রজ বিহার রস বিধার ব্রজ বিহার রস বিধার মধুর মধুর গান রে মধুর মধুর গান রে ধরণী উপর ধূলি ধূসর ধরণী উপর কবহু লুট প্রেমে গর গর ধূলি ধূসর ধরণী উপর কবহু লুট প্রেমে গর গর কবহু চল কবহু খেলত কবহু চলত কবহু খেলত কবহু অর্থ আসরে কবহু অর্থ আসরে কবহু সেদ কবহু কেদ কবহু সেদ কবহু কেদ কবহু পুলক স্বর বিবেদ কবহু স্বেদ কবহু কেদ কবহু পুলক স্বর বিবেদ কবহু লম্ফ কবহু ঝম্প কবহু লম্ফ কবহু ঝম্প কবহু দীর্ঘ শ্বাস রে কবহু দীর্ঘ শ্বাস রে করুণা সিন্ধু অখিল বন্ধু করুণা সিন্ধু অখিল বন্ধু কলিযুগতম পুরাণ হিন্দু করুণা সিন্ধু অখিল বন্ধু কলিযুগতম পুরাণ হিন্দু মোচন জগত লোচন পতল মোচন নিতাই পুরল আসরে নিতাই পুরল আসরে নিতাই পুরল আসরে নিতাই পুরল আসরে দূর জন অন্ভয়ধম দিন দূর জন প্রেম দানে করলো মোচন অন্ভয়ধম দিন দূর জন প্রেম দানে করলো মোচন পাওল জগত কেবল বঞ্চিত পাওল মোচন পাওল জগত কেবল বঞ্চিত এ রাধা বল্লভ দাসরে এ রাধা বল্লভ দাসরে এ রাধা বল্লভ দাসরে এ রাধা বল্লভ দাসরে আনন্দ কন্দ নিতাই ছন্দ করুণ নয়ন করুণ ছন্দ আনন্দ কন্দ নিতাই ছন্দ অরুণ নয়ন করুণ ছন্দ নিত্যানন্দ রাম জয় 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 নিত্যানন্দ রাম নিতাই হে গৌর হে নিতাই হে গৌর হে নিতাই হে গৌর হে নিতাই হে गौर हे पतित पावन श्री नित्यानंद प्रभु की जय प्रेम पुरुषोत्तम शचिनंदन गौर हरि की जय Gauranga Tumimore, Doyana Acharya, page 78. Gaurango tumi more গৌরাঙ্গ তুমি মোরে দয়ানা ছাড়ি হো গৌরাঙ্গ তুমি মোরে দয়ানা ছাড়ি হো আপন করিয়া রাঙ্গা চরণে রাখি হো আপন করিয়া রাঙ্গা চরণে রাখি হো গৌরাঙ্গ তুমি মোরে দয়ানা ছাড়ি হো গৌরাঙ্গ তুমি মোরে দয়ানা ছাড়ি হো তোমার চরণ লাগি সবতে আগি তোমার চরণ লাগি সবতে আগি শীতল চরণ পাইয়া শরণ লই শীতল চরণ পাইয়া শরণ লই গৌরাঙ্গ তুমি মোরে দয়ানা ছাড়ি হো গৌরাঙ্গ তুমি মোরে দয়ানা ছাড়ি হো একুলে ওকুলে মুই দিলু তিলাঞ্জলি একুলে ওকুলে মুই দিলু তিলাঞ্জলি রাখি হো চরণে মোরে আপনার বলি রাখি হো চরণে মোরে আপনার বলি গৌরাঙ্গ তুমি মোরে দয়ানা ছাড়ি হো গৌরাঙ্গ তুমি মোরে দয়ানা ছাড়ি হো বাসুদেব ঘোষে বলে চরণে ধরিয়া বাসুদেব ঘোষে বলে চরণে ধরিয়া কৃপা করি রাখো মোরে পদ ছায়া দিয়া কৃপা করি রাখো মোরে পদ ছায়া দিয়া গৌরাঙ্গ তুমি মোরে দয়ানা ছাড়ি হো গৌরাঙ্গ তুমি মোরে দয়ানা ছাড়ি হো Jaya Sachinandan Jaya Gaura Hari Jaya Sachinandan Jaya Gaura Hari Sachinandan Jaya Gaura Hari Gaura He Gaura He Gaura He Gaura He Sachinandana Gaura Hari Ki Soy Keva Shunaile Shyamanam Where is it? Probably SOI 183. Shoy Keva Shunaile Shyamanam. Page 183 in the songbook. If you do not have the songbook or the Gaudiya Kirtan app, just scroll to the most recent post of Jiva Pavana Prabhu. Jiva Pavana Prabhu very kindly posts the bhajans in the comment section of the thread. And Lavanga Lata, she posts the page number in case we lose our page. Page 183, Soy Keva Shunailo Shyamanam. Dandava Pranam Chandrika Devi Dasi, Radhe Radhe. It goes very high and very low, so I have to balance it. Shri Krishna Kanhaiya Lal ki jai. Keva Shunailo Shyamona 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 জানি কতে মধু শ্যাম নামে আছে গো না জানি কতে মধু শ্যাম নামে আছে গো বদন ছাড়িতে নাহি পারে বদন ছাড়িতে নাহি পারে জপিতে জপিতে নাম অবশ্যক করিল গো জপিতে জপিতে নাম অবশ্যক করিল গো কেমনে পাইব সুতরে কেমনে পাইব সুতরে দেবা শুনাইল শ্যাম ছনক করিল গো নাম পরতাপে যা ছনক করিল গো অঙ্গের পরশে কি বাহ অঙ্গের পরশে কি বাহ যেখানে বসতি তার সেখানে থাকিয়া গো যেখানে বসতি তার সেখানে থাকিয়া গো যুবতী ধর্ম কৈছেরা যুবতী ধর্ম কৈছেরা দেবা শুনাইল শ্যাম দেবা শুনাইল শ্যাম পাশারিতে চাহি মনে পাশরানো যায় গো পাশারিতে চাহি পাশরানো যায় গো কি করিব কি হবে উপায় কি করিব কি হবে উপায় ওহে দ্বিজ চন্দ্রী দাসে কুলবতী কুলনাশে কোহে দ্বিজ চন্দ্রী দাসে কুলবতী কুলনাশে আপনার যৌবন যাচাই আপনার যৌবন যাচাই দেবা শুনাইল শ্যাম নাম দেবা শুনাইল শ্যাম নাম দেবা শুনাইল শ্যাম নাম দেবা শুনাইল শ্যাম নাম কৃষ্ণ হে 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 Shri Krishna Kanhaiya Lal Ki Jai. Oh, did anyone else lose connection? Do we have Monday Shri Vrishabhanu Sutta Pada? Hare Krishna. I should have. Radha Bhajani Jadi, page 110. 110. Radha bhajane jadi mati nahi bhela Krishna bhajana tava akarano bela Radha bhajane jadi mati nahi bhela Krishna bhajana tava akarana gela Ato parohita suraj nahi jani Radha virohita madho nahi mani Ato suraj nahi jani Radha virohita madho nahi mani Kevalo madhava pujaye so agyani Radhayo nadaro koroya bhimani Kevalo madhava pujaye so agyani Radhayo nadaro koroya bhimani Kabahi nahi korobi takora sanga chitte chasi jadi brajara saranga Kabahi nahi korobi takora sanga chitte chasi jadi brajara saranga Radhika dasi jadi hoy abhimano shingrai nahi tava gokulakano Radhika dasi jadi hoy abhimano shingrai nahi tava gokulakano Brahma Shiva Narada Shruti Nārāyaṇi Radhika Padaraja Pujaye Mani Brahma Shiva Narada Radhayavotaro Sobe Amnayo Vani Umaroma Satya Shachi Chandra Rupini Radhayavotaro Sobe Amnayo Vani Heno Radha Paricharya Japarodhano Bhakti Virodata Magaye Charana Heno Radha Paricharya Japarodhano Bhakti Virodata Magaye Radha bhajane jadi pati nahi bhela Krishna bhajana tava akarana gela Radha bhajane jadi pati nahi bhela Krishna bhajana Karoge Jai Radhe Jai Radhe Jai Radhe Jai Shri Radhe Jai Radhe Jai Radhe Jai Radhe Jai Radhe Jai Radhe Jai Krishna Jai Radhe Jai Krishna Jai Radhe Jai Krishna Jai Radhe Jai Krishna Vrishabhanandani Shrimati Radharani ki Jai Shri Krishna Kanhaya Lal ki Jai. So for Isha Thakurani, I was actually going to sing that other tune, and then I realized we're going to sing Damodarāṣṭakam in that other tune, the same tune. So I didn't want the tune to be redundant, so we're going to sing Damodarāṣṭakam, because normally we would have sung Radha bhajane jadi mati nahi bhela, but that's the same as Namami Shwaram Sachidananda Rupam, right? So, no, I did the old tune yesterday, the one that we grew up with. Yes. Where's Devaki when we need her? So Śrī Dāmodarāṣṭakam, page 290. Thank God our connection to Krishna is not dependent on a computer or the local internet, wherever anyone is. Our connection to Guru and Krishna is of the heart, of the soul, and the soul never dies. So, I'm sorry that so many are losing their connection. Usually it's on this side, but we see that who lost? Isha lost, then Jiva Pavana Prabhu lost, then Anjali lost, Soy. For soy. That's the same tune we always did. Okay. Soy means, well, it's a kind of a saki. It means saki. Soy, saki, same. Namami Shwaram Sachidananda Rupam Lasat Kundalam gokule brajamanam namami sharam Sachidananda rupam lasatkundanam gokule brajamanam Yashodabhiyo dukha ladhavamanam paramrishtamatyan tato drutya gopya rudantam muhurnito yugmam rijantam karambhojayugmeno satam karetram muhushvasokam trirekhankakanta stitagraiva damodaram bhaktivedānta namami sharam Sachidananda rupam lasatkundanam gokule brajamanam iti drikshari labhi ananda kunde svaghosham nimajantam akyapayantam kadiyeshitagyeshu bhaktarjitatvam puna prematastam shatabrittimande namami sharam Sachidananda rupam lasatkundalam gokule brajamanam varam deva moksham namokshavadim va kachanyam rineham parishadapiha idam deva purnato gopalabhavam sada me manosyami ashtamkinam namami sharam Sachidananda rupam lasatkundalam gokule brajamanam idam te mukham bojam avyaktanilay kritam kuntalay snigdham raktaischa gopya muhushchumbitam bimba raktadharam me manasya virastam alam lakshala namam sharam Sachidananda rupam lasatkundalam gokule brajamanam namo deva damodarananta vishno prasida prabho dukha jalabdhimabnam kripadrishti vrishtyati dinam bataru grihane shamamavyam medhyakshidresha namami sharam Sachidananda rupam lasatkundalam gokule brajamanam kuberatmajo baddha murtyaiva yadva kayamo cheto bhakti prema bhaktim sakham me prayacha namo shigraho me Śrī Dāmodare namami sharam sachidanandarupam lasatkundalam gokule vrajama namaste studame spuradiptidamne tadiyodārāyatha vishvasya dhamne namo radhikāya tvadiya priyāya namo radhikāya tvadiya priyāya namo radhikāya tvadiya priyāya namo nantalilayo devaya tuvyam namo radhikāya tvadiya priyāya 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 namo nantalilayo devaya tuvyam namo nantalilayo devaya tuvyam Damodara Radha Damodara Damodara Radha Damodara Radha Damodara Radha Damodara Damodara Radha Damodara Jai Radha Damodara Radha Damodara Radhe Radha Damodara Radha Damodara Radhe Śrī Radha Damodara Ju ki Jai Śrī Dāmodarāṣṭakam ki Jai I forgot to light the lamp. Yes. Śrī Dāmodara ki Jai Radha Bino Bihari Sachinandana Gaura Hari ki Jai Radha Ramanaju ki Jai Giriraj Mahārāja ki Jai Shalagram Shila ki Jai Laddu Gopala ki Jai Chota 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 Laddu Gopala ki Jai Have you gotten any updates about Anupam Prabhu recently? Sudevi, did you receive any updates about Anupam Prabhu? Okay. So as I told you earlier on, Anupam Prabhu, our god brother in South Africa, very nice devotee, quite young, I mean, younger than us. We're not that young, but probably in his 30s. He had contracted COVID, and he is in very, very critical condition right now, on a ventilator and sedated. And we don't know what his condition is going to be. We were told today that it was actually progressively getting worse. So I request all of you to pray to Gurudev, to Srila Prabhupada, to our Guru Varga, to Sri Sachinandan Gaurahari, Nityananda Prabhu, and Radha and Krishna, to please mercifully keep him close, that they will always give him inspiration to run swiftly on the path of bhakti in whatever scenario he ends up in whatever situation. We don't know. It's a very fragile situation. So if we can pray for him, it would be to his eternal benefit. Mm-hmm. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jai Gurudev, 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 Gurudev. Jai Gurudev, 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 Gurudev. Jai Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Jai Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Shri Shrinitai Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Shri Gurudev ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Rupanuga Guruvarga ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Nitai Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bol. It's quite low. It's nice. So Jiva Pavana Prabhu just posted from Srila Prabhupada. When it is chanted by a pure devotee of the Lord in love, it has the greatest efficacy on hearers. And as such, this chanting should be heard from the lips of a pure devotee of the Lord so that immediate effects can be achieved. This is our hope, this is our goal, this is our aspiration. In the meantime, Sat Krishna Nama Charitari Sitapya Vidya Pito Patapta Rasanasya Rochikanu Kentvādarād Anudinam Kalushaiva Jushta Svadvi Kramad Bhavati Tad Garumulahantri. When one is born in the darkest of ignorance, they are like a person with jaundice. Means anyone who has any other desire other than the nature of the soul, which is to love and serve Krishna, they are jaundiced. They have a disease of attachment to the temporary, ephemeral world, the fantasy world of the material world. And because of that disease, we require help. What is that help? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. In the association of Vaishnavas especially, but calling and praying for help, for mercy. Gradually, it will have its purifying effect. Just like sugar candy, rock sugar candy, gradually dissipates that jaundice, and it is the cure. And in the beginning it is bitter, but later on it will be very sweet. In the same way, gradually over time, by the power of the holy name, one's chanting will become pure, especially if they are under the association or under the guidance of any pure Vaishnava who can help to direct us as we are chanting. The calling out of the holy name of the Lord, this is the sound of the jiva crying out in separation for the mercy of the Lord. And yet, if we don't have our focus properly, it can go in the wrong direction. It can go toward material wealth, toward material sense gratification, toward name and fame, position, power, pratishtha. It can go in so many different directions, but it is all powerful. Abhinatva nama namino. It is not different from the Lord, and yet it still has a special potency. Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarvashaktis. Mahaprabhu said that all of his transcendental potencies have been invested in these holy names. Even where Krishna himself cannot go, certain things can go. The vibration of his name can go. He can't sneak, well, sometimes he can, but not into the homes of the gopis at night. But his flute song can sneak in there and go into their ears and steal their hearts. In the same way, that holy name can go anywhere. So, hopefully, one day, by the mercy of Guru, by the mercy of Vaishnavas, by the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the chanting that we are doing will go from the stage of Nam Aparad, offensive chanting, toward Namabhas, the shadow or dim reflection of the pure name. And then eventually, gradually, the pure holy name will make itself manifest. So in this case, because I just read that, sometimes, excuse me, I have a sweater on underneath this kurta. Sometimes, and it's not just me, many devotees have expressed this idea. And who am I? I'm nobody. My practice is weak, if I practice at all. What power do I have to chant or to tell anyone about Krishna? I should just hide in a hole and wallow in my ignorance, my self-pity. What benefit will anyone else get by hearing my recitation of the names? I'm full of anarthas and aparads. I have so much lust, anger, greed, and madness, and envy, and pride. And in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, it states that only one who practices perfectly can then preach. So definitely, I shouldn't tell anyone about Krishna. It will only have a negative effect. This is the thought process that we have. But what is the order of Mahaprabhu and Gurudev? Of course we should try to practice. But without sharing it, we will be lacking in our practice. Srila Prabhupada says in his Karunaya Avatirana Kalo, series of, maybe it's one big article that's been published in many different harmonist magazines in parts. Without sharing, without following that order of Mahaprabhu, one will not receive the mercy, full mercy of Mahaprabhu. So I asked Srila Gurudev that question once. You're telling us that we should go everywhere. We have no qualification. You told us we should tell people about Krishna and chant the holy names of Krishna. But we know what the effect is. If someone's heart has lust and anger and greed and madness and envy and pride, can't it have a negative effect? So what benefit will others get by hearing my vibration of Krishna's names and Krishna's pastimes? Gurudev cut me off. He said, oh, some Shakti will be there because you are under guidance. Meaning on his order, by his instruction, we are doing this service. And Mahaprabhu has given this instruction to all of us. Our Gurudev and Guru Varga have given us this instruction to all of us. Imagine if only the most qualified persons who are pure transcendental devotees were the only persons ever allowed to say anything or sing anything about Krishna. Theoretically, yes, they could, just by their own desire, spread Krishna consciousness all over the world. But look what our Guru Varga has done. They've taken so many who were brand new, fresh, somehow inspired them. It doesn't mean they were topmost pure devotees experiencing Shuddhanam, but they had faith in their Gurudev and they were following his instruction. And they went all over the world, running up and down every street in every major town of the world, with kartals, mridangas, wampers, gongs, and all wearing matching clothes from the same roll of cloth. Do you remember that? Back in the day, everyone had no attachment to fancy saris or dhotis. It was one big roll of cloth and they would just cut it, sari here, dhoti there, like that. Running everywhere, distributing books, telling people about Krishna, asking people to chant the holy names even once. By this, because they were following his order, through them he was able to accomplish an amazing miracle in such a short amount of time, where the names of Krishna, Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and the names of Nitai Gauranga were chanted, spoken about, and heard in every town and village of the world. So I might not have qualification, and yet, like my Srila Gurudev, like our Srila Gurudev told me, you should sit in front and be ready for kirtan, and be ready so that I can use you for kirtan whenever I like. What a concept. That means that we should not think that I am the doer. I should be ready to be utilized as an instrument in the service of my Gurudev. And what will he do? He will fine-tune that instrument so that it will be used by his Gurudev and his Gurudev and his Guru Parampara, Nityananda Prabhu Mahaprabhu, Shri Rupa Manjari Lalita Saki Srimati Radhika. They will fine-tune that instrument and use it in the service of Radha and Krishna. It's not the singing voice, it's the mood in the heart. Be ready so that I can use you for kirtan whenever I like. That means I am yours. I am for your purpose. I might not have any qualification, but mukam karoti vachalam pangam langayate girim yat kripa tamaham vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam. That verse, we say it every day, and I'm going to say it in just a minute again, is saying that by the grace of Guru, by the grace of Madhava, Paramananda Madhavam, the Supreme Lord, what can happen? Someone who does not have the ability to speak, they are mute. They will be able to speak beautiful poetry. Someone who is lame, who has no capacity to walk, whose legs are practically useless, they will be able to cross over mountains. This is the power to make the impossible possible. Aghatana, ghatana, patiyasi, shakti. The power to make the impossible possible can take place. Srila Gurudev knows that we are weak. He knows that we are bound in this material world. He knows that we are attracted to the lower tastes of this material world. And yet he sees our potential and engages us accordingly to awaken that higher taste within us in such a way that the lower taste will become now distasteful. No attraction will come for that because I now have the higher taste. And by gradually engaging one's senses in the service of Krishna, first and foremost, in the service of Sri Guru. This is the first form of Krishna in our life, Guru Krishna. Krishna's mercy has condensed and taken a form and stood in front of us. And we've accepted and he's instructed in this connection. He's requesting us to do something, daily requesting us, and making sure that we are reminded regularly, because we are weak, and our memory is quite weak. This is the nature of Kali Yuga. Manda sumanda matayo manda bhagya hupadrutaha. What is the nature of people in this Kali Yuga? They have no good memory. Their lives are short, unlucky, misguided. It's just the nature of Kali Yuga. So memory is weak. So Gurudev said, I keep coming to remind you again and again. I'm reminding you, don't be weak. Chant your Harinam, chant your mantras, follow my instructions. Only by this will you be happy. Don't go on the other path.
please be merciful to me, he said, by becoming happy. Chant your Harinam. So I'm just going to read something that Sudevi posted. Many of you may have seen it. Srila Gurudev spoke. So many devotees, even those who have taken Diksha, second initiation, have asked me, Gurudev, I have so many problems. I have no money. Should I stop chanting and serving the deities? I cannot maintain these practices. Please allow me to stop chanting and serving the deities. I have always replied, I can never allow this. If you die, there is no harm in that, but I cannot allow you to stop chanting. He said, you can lose your life, but not your mala, Gurudev said. If you die, there's no harm in that, but I cannot allow you to stop chanting. At least you should chant one round. Even if you can't chant on your mala, still you should chant. Also, you should serve your deities. I will not allow you to stop. So, if the question ever comes in your mind, should I stop? Should I put them to sleep for a little while? And Gurudev says, no. Should I stop chanting? Gurudev says, no. So, then we can check our own hearts and see the depth of our strength or weakness on that meter, how weak we are. So Gurudev is constantly reminding us, and he does not want us to become weak. Don't be weak, be strong, don't be hopeless. Chant your Harinam, chant and remember the sweet pastimes of Krishna. Srila Gurudev is always endeavoring to remind us, now also, not just before, even now. 10 years have passed since his departure. In less than 3 weeks, it will be his centennial celebration. 100 years since he manifested in this world. So Srila Guru, 3 weeks, maybe a month. No, less than 3 weeks. So he's always reminding us, don't be weak, be strong. Share it with others and practice it yourself. Chant your Harinam. Chant and remember the sweet pastimes of Krishna. In other words, he won't give us permission to do the other things. If we want to, we will have to go away from him. This means we will be exercising our independence. But what does Gurudev want from us? 2 main things. Our independence. This is a very hard thing to offer. And our loyalty. Loyalty. This should be easier to offer. But even then, it is difficult. Because we have been loyal to Maya since forever. And now we're trying to turn and give our loyalty to pure devotee of Krishna. But our loyalty to Maya is pulling us like a fish hook, pulling us back again and again toward Maya. We need to hold on tightly to the lotus feet of Guru. Just by one particle of the dust of his lotus feet, millions of people of this world can be delivered. Srila Bhaktivedānta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada states, Deepak is trying to call me. Who's Deepak?
Chopra. Deepak Chopra.
Ek minute. Radhe Radhe? Kaun? I'm busy right now. I can't talk right now. I'll talk later. Radhe Radhe. Only sometimes because it's the Anyway, Hare Krishna. So, now, I just wanted to share that point. What does he want? He wants our loyalty, and he wants our independence. Independence means not our transcendental independence, but our material independence. This tendency to accept Guru and Krishna whimsically, and then whimsically go the other way. Oh, now I'm not feeling it. So I'm going to go into the material world and do my material thing. This means that we're not really loyal. What happens when you give up your material independence? You attain true spiritual independence. But true spiritual independence really means in accordance with the nature of your soul, which is the realization of my utter, complete dependence on Krishna. Independence, when misused, only gets us into trouble. Always. When misused. So we have our choice. What is our independence? It's only the choice of whether to be under the control of Mahamaya or under the control of Yogamaya. The idea that we're always independent, that is just an illusion. We can choose. Our independence is to choose. Do we want to be under the control of Guru and Krishna and the transcendental energy, or do we want to be under the control of Maya and the material energy? It's not like we're always free. Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita very clearly that his material energy, his divine energy in the forms of material nature, goodness, passion, and ignorance are playing on us. So we think we're independent, but really we're being played upon by the modes of material nature, by Maya. Like a what do you call it? Oh gosh, I was going to say mandolin. Please forgive me. It's not a mandolin. It's I can't remember at the moment. I've been in India a long time. A puppet, that's pulled by strings. Please write that word down. It just completely left me. I don't use it very often. So, we're being played on by the material energy. We think we're independent, but we're not. We're being controlled by Maya. And these days, a lot of people, a lot of devotees also are kind of going, oh my God, we're being controlled by our governments, we're being controlled by this and that. And they're screaming for independence. But screaming for independence from one material thing, but through a material medium, is not going to grant independence. What will grant us independence? The only thing that will grant us independence from Maya is becoming fully dependent on the lotus feet of Sri Guru. Fully dependent on the lotus feet of Nitai, Gauranga. Fully dependent on the lotus feet of Shri Radha and Krishna. That's the thing that can grant us independence from Maya. Otherwise, as Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada states, trying to solve one material problem with another material solution is like trying to drain the ocean by taking the water from this side and putting it over here. Well, you still have the problem, you've just shifted it. So this is how problems work in this material world. We move one thing to another place, and then the karma still follows. Only way to get rid of all of that, sarvadharma pratyajya mam ekam sharanam braja aham tvang sarva papebhyo moksha mashuchaha. Krishna is saying, if you surrender unto him, he will free you from all of your karmic bindings. This is not the reason to surrender to him, by the way. That's karma mishra bhakti. Okay, I'll surrender to you if you remove my bindings. We should not do it with that intention, but that is what will happen anyway. The intention should only be for his happiness, his pleasure, his benefit, for his service. Then that will be pure bhakti. But anyhow, he says, I will free you from all of that if you surrender to me. Exclusively. One-pointed. He wants everything, 100%. He doesn't want our old, burnt-out, useless remnants. He likes everything young and fresh. Like Srila Gurudev said, everything now. Gurudev said, don't wait 1 month, 1 week, 2 days, tomorrow. Don't say tomorrow I will do. He said, immediately start now. Offering your heart to Krishna. Thank you, Rama. Marionette. Mandolin. Yeah, I had just completely forgotten that word. So now we will begin with Śrī Dāmodarāṣṭakam. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadale Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tarbhaktaya Namo Namah. Hare Krishna. We just received the message that Anupam Prabhu just now departed from this world. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So he departed. They said around 12 a.m. I don't know if it was a.m. or p.m.
Just pray for him.
He was very. We have a lot of affection for him. Please, everyone, pray to Srila Gurudev, pray to Srila Prabhupada, pray to the Vaishnavas, pray to Gaur Nityananda Prabhu, Radha and Krishna, for his Atma, that his Atma will be able to rapidly progress on the path of bhakti, that he may go to better and better situations, that he may be happy, that he may become more and more independent from Maya and more dependent on Krishna. May he be victorious in his journey to perfection. Anupam Prabhu ki jai. I think I'm going to do another little kirtan because Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Oh Jaya Guru Deva, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Guru Parampara, 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 Hari want to sit here? Okay. One moment.
Dandavat Pranam,
Dandavat pranam.
dear Vaishnavas, my sweet Pranam. Ajnanatirmirandasya jnananjana shalakaya chakshurun militam jena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. I just wanted to say a couple words about this very dear God brother. But first, I was just thinking when I read the message that he had left, I started thinking about him and all the things that I remember of him and all the things, the times that we shared together that were under the guidance of Srila Gurudev. And I realized I only had really excellent things to say about him. Only things that are in connection with Hari Guru and Vaishnavas. Nothing mundane, nothing, only beauty. And I was thinking, what an auspicious thing that when someone leaves, that all you can think about is all of that devotee part of that personality. When we were in South Africa in 2010, we were there for about 3 months. And during some of that time, we were in Johannesburg. And I don't want to tell you everything that happened, but it was a very, very difficult time for us. And Kishori, just be aware, because that will stop soon. It was a very difficult time for us. And we underwent a lot of struggle and a lot of opposition. But one day, we had a book table at like a sort of a craft market kind of place. They were selling some food, they were selling some gift items, they were selling just all kinds of things. And we rented a booth there and we brought all of Srila Gurudev's books. But we saw, not far from us, was another book table. And we looked and they were kind of looking at us and we were looking at them. And we found out that it was ISKCON devotees. So I kind of walked over and I looked at their books and I was, oh, Srila Prabhupada. And I was saying how we met Srila Prabhupada when we were children and they were really excited. And this god brother, Anupam Prabhu was there. And, you know, they were a little bit weary of us because we were with Gurudev, Nārāyaṇa Mahārāja and Gaudiya Math, and there was a lot of propaganda against him, even in the newspapers. They were printing things against Gurudev, and even all kinds of articles that I paid to print. They would then print something about ISKCON sannyasis. So we were just really having a difficult time there. So anyway, I went back to our stall, and we were sitting down, and this Anupam came over, and he had some books. And he said, oh, I thought that you might like some of these books. And I said, well, I have them and I've read them, but sure, I would love them. Let me give you some books. So we gave some of Srila Gurudev's books and he gave Gurudev's books. But then he kept coming back and he wanted to ask questions. And we were a little bit weary of him all of a sudden because they were so like talking about us and looking at us. And after some time, he was like, really, can I have your information? I have a lot of questions. So, of course, we put him, you know, we gave him Kishori Mohan Prabhu's information. And so then he really began to stalk us. And he was really trying to come over to where we were living. He wanted to talk. He wanted to call. He wanted to know about Gurudev. He wanted to know about Guru Tattva. And he wanted to understand how it is to call Sri Guru in his life, someone like Srila Prabhupada. And he had so many questions, very relevant, very beautiful. And he was always excited about bhakti. He was always excited about book distribution. the devotee. Also, he was doing Gurudev's audio seva. He was always trying to engage himself in any which way that he could with the books of Srila Prabhupada and our Gurudev, and also the audio seva. We had very, very, like I said, difficult times in South Africa. So when I remember this God brother, he brings a shining light. There are quite a few of them actually that made that seva place of ours to Gurudev. Many of them made it very beautiful and bright and helped us to overlook all of the difficulties, and he was one of them. We also met him in Vrindavan many times, and I just feel very bereft of such a person. I have something that Gurudev spoke one time, but he was saying, I'm very happy to meet a devotee like you. He said to this devotee who was about to leave her body, he said, I'm so happy to see you, but I'm sad that a devotee like you is also leaving me. And I feel that way. We didn't have so much contact over the years, but whenever I would see his picture, whenever we would come together, it was like a reunion of heart to heart. And I'm very sad at the separation of such a God brother. And I just ask that we all pray for his ultimate upliftment. May he continue on his journey toward perfection. May Srila Gurudev and Srila Prabhupada take him in their hands to wherever it is he needs to go to progress. And may his family and all the devotees who will miss him have some solace in their heart knowing that such a beautiful devotee is going to continue and have such a beautiful, blissful life because he's connected to such Vaishnavas. Dandavad Pranam.
Sudevi's memories about Anupam Prabhu are the same as mine. I just remember he was calling, he was trying to meet with us. It was like any time he could get. It was for hours, and he would have one question after another, after another.
To our program.
He was driving to the programs after he would be doing his seva all day. Then he would sneak over and join our programs, and he was really excited to learn about bhakti. I mean, this is the transition from him just being an excited devotee and serving to actually coming to Srila Gurudev and taking shelter of Gurudev. And he was just like firing off the questions and so excited. And when he met Gurudev, his heart just like offered itself at Gurudev's feet. He was so happy, so excited. Yeah, he did. He lost, you can say, so much, but he gained everything as well. And also so many beautiful God brothers and God sisters. And his nature, it didn't stop. His service didn't stop. It actually increased. So he was serving, he was still serving. And his attachment to Srila Prabhupada and his attachment to Prabhupada's books never lessened. It increased more. But he came to Srila Gurudev and really just offered his heart. And he always had this mood. From our recollection, we didn't see him every day, but the time that we were with him, he was always happily and energetically serving. And
I always saw him happy.
Yeah, it was like, if you needed something, he would get it done. That kind of person. And he was just always smiling and happy to do it. And he was fairly young. I don't even know what his age is, but I think maybe even up to 10 years younger than us. But unfortunately, he has departed from our presence today. And so it's true what Rakdambar Prabhu said previously. It's actually, we're all in this situation. And a lot of times, we were discussing it today, that we look and we see, oh, this one has left and this one has left. I think since the beginning, I don't know, I recall, because I was keeping count, and we actually have it on all the videos, there's proof. But 50 or 60 people within our first and second circles. Second circle means direct connections to people we personally know, have departed from this world. And directly within our personal or first circle of people we know, probably at least 20, 25. So it's been quite a big year of loss in our lives. And of course we have a very broad circle because we've been traveling the world for 20 years, but still it's a heavy impact on the heart because we're still within the human body and the human form. But it is quite amazing that someone can depart and everyone thinks, oh, they've departed, but it's not going to happen to us. But it can happen to any one of us at any time.
He was 42. He was
42.
Yeah, he was younger than us.
Yeah, so we're in our upper 40s and getting up there. See, many years has gone by, so it's hard to judge the age, but that's quite young, 42. And so, but this is also a reminder for us. Yesterday we were speaking about birthdays, and today this is a day of departing from this world. We should understand that this world is a place where there is danger at every step. Padam padam yadvi padam natesham. Srila Prabhupada would quote it quite often. And what is the greatest mystery? Mahārāja Yudhishthira was asked by a yaksha, what is the greatest mystery in this world? That we see that everyone and all around us, there is death everywhere, but we don't think it's coming to me. Oh, it's not my time. I have another 50 years. He was only 42. And so happy and energetic and joyful and serving. So for us, we should take this as a very grounding lesson. One, don't play with fire. So many people are like, it's not a real thing. It's not a real thing. It has taken 20 people that we know in the last year. Personally. We know them personally. We've talked to them. We've made friendships with them. Yeah, it's a real thing. And I'm not being political here. Whatever it is, it's doing its work. And it is a real thing. So don't play with fire. Meaning, don't play with electricity if you don't know what you're doing. And two, we should understand that none of us are immune from janma, mrityu, jara, vyadhi. These are guarantees in this material world. Birth, disease, old age, and death. Not even taxes. I didn't pay tax for 20 years. So that's not always a guarantee. But birth, disease, old age, and death are guarantees when one is in a material condition. Srila Prabhupada says that Mahārāja Parikshit was guaranteed 7 days. We do not know if we have 7 minutes or 7 seconds. With that awareness, with the grounding that comes, a 42-year-old, very nice, sweet, energetic devotee has just departed from our vision. I don't know what his health was like before that, but anyhow, 42. So, this should be a wake-up call for us, for all of us, that it can come at any moment. What am I doing with my time? What am I doing with my energy? How much energy and time am I giving to Guru and Krishna? Versus how much energy and time am I giving to all sorts of mundane material things? What will happen if I'm only absorbing myself in all of those things? Screaming about 5G and then screaming about, what do you call those? The injections with the nanochips? And then screaming about chemtrails and then screaming about this political party and that political party and that thing and this thing. It's all not worth really contemplating. At the time of death, we will realize that. If that is where our consciousness is. Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev, all of our acharyas, our shastras, what are they instructing us? To become conscious of Krishna. or otherwise Krishna conscious. So that really it's a practice. Our entire life should be a practice. So that when we are in a situation where we are departing from this body and going to another, or maybe not going to another if we're fortunate, but that we will be able to focus our minds, our hearts, our words on Krishna. Whatever we spend our energy on, absorbing our consciousness in this world, that's where our consciousness will bring us upon our departure, our demise. So if we're not conscious of Krishna, if we're not conscious of Gurudev and the mercy of Guru, if we're not conscious of Mahaprabhu, if we're not conscious of the holy names, if we're not practicing that in our daily life, then there's almost a guarantee that that's what we're not going to be thinking about when we are departing from this world. So if we spend as much time as possible until this body is no longer able to be maintained, every moment it is said, Tadva sudurlabam idam bahusambhavante manusham artadam anityam apihadhira turnam yateta napatet anumrityayavan nishrayashaya vishaya khalu sarvatasyat. One should endeavor to utilize every moment for the endeavor for perfection. This is what Bhagavatam is telling us. Because there's no guarantee. No guarantee. We all look and think, oh, we have so much time, we have this and that. Next life I'll do it. We don't know what's going to happen next life. So for me, and I think for all of us, this should be, and this is, a wake-up call. Today everything seems fine. Tomorrow it can be a very different story. Or tonight, or any moment. How much energy am I devoting to Krishna? How much energy, how much time, how many of my tears am I devoting to the lotus feet of Sri Guru? How much am I devoting to the process of bhakti? How much time and energy am I devoting to Harinam? I will re-quote Gurudev because he said it again and again, so I'm saying it again and again. In this world, there is no problem. There is no problem. You think there's so many problems, you try to solve one, and another 10 will pop up in its place. We're witnessing that right now in Gopinath Bhavan. They fix one thing, and then the water pipe over there breaks, and then 10 other things break, and then they try to fix all of that, and then this roof starts cracking, and then they're trying to fix this, and then something else starts. It's like one thing after another, and they fix one and 5 more pop up in its place. It's like a sangsar, Gita sangsar, one thing after another. Gurudev said you won't be able to solve the material problems. In this world, there is no problem really. There's only one problem. Only one. Where is Krishna? The devotee who told us, she said she went into Gurudev's room and he was sitting very straight, with his eyes closed, chanting very softly. And tears were pouring from his eyes. Hare Krishna, like this. She said after some time he opened his eyes and he saw, and he just said, in this world there is no problem. There is only one problem. Where is Krishna? Where is Krishna? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Continuing to weep and cry, calling out the holy names of Krishna. This is our only problem. Everything else will not really help us. So as much as possible, we should endeavor to try to take shelter of the lotus feet of Sri Guru. That means following, holding on tightly, and keeping our eyes, our attention, our mind, our hearts, our words, vacho, manasa, jihva, everything, our urges, keep them all focused on Krishna. If we do such a thing, then we can remember Krishna day and night, and also when that time comes, when we will be making the transition from this body to any other form, whether it is another material body or a spiritual form. So this now today for me is a wake-up call. We have received this extremely rare and valuable human form. Durlabha manava. Durlabh means rare. This manav, a human form, is extremely rare. 8,400,000 different species of life. And of that, there are 400,000 species of human. And among that, only 4, technically, within Varnashram, are capable of even spiritual thought. The rest are only absorbed in eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, like all of the animals. So it's very, very small percentage of 8,400,000 different species. And somehow we have acquired this amazing human form of life within which we are somehow given the opportunity to contemplate spiritual subject matter and receive the opportunity to accept the shelter of Sri Guru, to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, to take Krishna Prasadam, to do Arti of Krishna, to come to Vrindavan, to read transcendental literatures, and all of those things that will help us to fully absorb our minds in Krishna. This opportunity we have now, we don't know what we will have in the future. And so whatever we have now, we should maximize its capacity. Like I said the other day, the opportunity has come before us now. As much as we can extract from that opportunity, we should make our best endeavor to do so. If you think about it like this, they actually have a something came up on my Facebook, and it said something like, you have 10 minutes to spend $1 million. It's a lot of money to spend. And so some people are only able to spend $5,000. Some are able to spend $20,000. Those who are intelligent were able to spend, $700,000. So as much as we can within the time that we have, we do not know how much time we have, but we can endeavor to receive, extract, and accept that mercy which is coming to us as much as possible. And that means we have to let certain things go and empty our pot of all of its nonsense so that we can receive the nectar that Sri Guru, that the Vaishnavas, that Shachinandan Gaura Hari wants to give us. So, what is the time? Okay. So now we will continue with Śrī Dāmodarāṣṭakam. I just wanted to share that because of this situation. It's just another, it's hard-hitting. But really it's also for us, you can say, merciful. It's a very strong Jeev Jago. Hey, wake up, what are you doing? Or Srila Gaura Govinda Mahārāja would say, what are you doing? Stupid nonsense. Wake up. Wake up. For me, this is a wake up. And I hope it continues to wake me up. Because I tend to sleep very well. But I pray that somehow through his departure, he will also continue to bless me to remember that I should continue to endeavor to wake up. Tomara nidraya jiva nidrita dharai tava jagarani vishva jagarita hai. Our Param Gurudev Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshava Gosvāmī Mahārāja, he has written in his Mangalarti, Bhajan, Tomara nidraya jiva. Oh jiva, you have been sleeping since time without beginning. Tava jagarane vishva jagarita hoy. Now it is time for you to wake up. Wake up to what? Your eternal service to Shri Radha and Krishna. We've been asleep for so long. Now it's time to make an adjustment. It's time to take advantage of this opportunity that we have been given. This perfectly constructed boat, the human form of life, which is the only form which allows us, enables us to endeavor for perfection. Taking shelter of Sri Guru, he will captain that boat. We should just give ourselves to Guru, he will captain that and take us across the ocean of material existence to our eternal, transcendental, loving relationship and service to Shri Radha and Krishna. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namah Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Nama Om Vishnupadaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Śrīmad Bhaktivedānta Nārāyaṇa Namine Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhaktivedānta Swami Niti Namine Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanang Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Giring Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Gurung Dinatarinam. Radhe, again. You caught it just in time.
As soon as I walked in, it.
Wow, okay. So, as you all know, this is no ordinary book. This is a transcendental treasure manifested from the heart of Satyavrata Muni, Śrī Dāmodarāṣṭakam, written down in Padma Purana by Ved Vyas, commented on by Śrī Sanātana Gosvāmī. In here we have the commentary of Sanātana Gosvāmī in Sanskrit, and the translation of that with the added commentary full of transcendental emotion, sentiment from our Param Gurudev Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Mahārāja, then followed by the commentary of our Srila Gurudev Srila Bhaktivedānta Nārāyaṇa Gosvāmī Mahārāja. Endless transcendental treasure with so many different amazing caverns. And we don't know how much time we have. It's quite short, but we have a lot of caverns to investigate. So we need to maximize our capacity and extract as much transcendental jewels and investigate them as possible. So, before entering into this transcendental treasure, we will pray to these divine personalities in the words of Raghunath Das Goswami. Vairāga juga bhaktira samprayatnaya apayanan mam anubhikshamandam kripambudirya paradukuduki sanātanastam prabhum ashrayami. Begging in the dust of their lotus feet that may even a particle of their moods which are present within these pages manifest itself within our hearts. Now we are still on verse 5. So, what is verse 5? Idam te mukham bhojam avyaktanīlair vritam kuntalai snigdha raktaishta gopya muhushchumbitam bimba raktadharam me manasya virastam malam lakshalabhai namami sharam sachidanandarupam lasat kundalam gokule brajamanam. So yesterday we were discussing Śrī Dāmodarāṣṭakam, the commentary of our Srila Gurudev Srila Bhaktivedānta Nārāyaṇa Gosvāmī Mahārāja. And he was telling how Satyavrata Muni's mood was changing. It started with Dasyaras, servitor mood, Namam Ishvaram, with Aishvarya Bhav, glorifying the supreme majesty of the Supreme Lord. But somehow the nature of his Atma, his inherent, natural, constitutional position is not to only be in that mood. So spontaneously he was becoming attracted to very personal, loving, sweet mood. Idam deva purnata gopala balam. He wants to always see that beautiful Bal Gopal form. Very small Gopal. And then he says, idam te mukham bojam. Then he wants to see this beautiful lotus-like face, but that's not enough. He wants to see that face kissed again and again by Mother Yashoda. And then our Gurudev and Param Gurudev have explained that also later on he develops this desire that I also want to see that face kissed again and again by Srimati Radhika. But here he's coming to this point. He's desiring, also, I wish I could also do such a thing. So he's developing greed in his heart. This lobha or lolyam. Greed is not a bad thing. Greed is a good thing when it is used for Krishna. The same thing in essence when used for the material, it drags one to hell. But when utilized for Krishna, it drags one to Krishna's eternal service. Same thing with association. If you have asatsanga or unfavorable association, it drags you away from bhakti. If you have satsanga or pure transcendental association, that is the root cause of the awakening of bhakti in the heart. So we should not think that greed is bad. Tatra lolyam api mulyam ekalam. The root cause. Ekalam means only. Mulyam means root. The only root cause of the awakening of Krishna Bhakti Ras in the heart is tatra lolyam. That intense, greedy desire to serve Krishna in such a way. So this is awakening in the heart of Śrī Satyavrata Muni. And Srila Gurudev is explaining that he's progressing. He will gradually progress in a deep longing to perform service under the guidance of one of Krishna's eternal associates will begin to manifest within his heart. Just like the omniscient Supersoul present in the core of everyone's heart, the Guru has the special characteristic of perfectly knowing our heart. Now, I've paid attention. This particular phrase and paragraph has caught my attention many times in the past. And so I urge you all to also listen very carefully to this, because this is the crux, the foundational issue of this point of Srila Gurudev's preaching, which was among one of his main pillars of his preaching. This point. Some people are trying to contest it, but our Gurudev was very, very clear on this point, and here I find is one of the most clear affirmations of this particular point. The inherency of the svarup of the jiva. It's already inherent within. It's not added from outside. It is simply awakened due to sadhu sangha. In the same way that a gardener detects what is the nature of any seed, plants it and nourishes it according to its nature to perfection, that seed. Okay, I have a question for you. If you plant an orange seed, what kind of tree will you get? That's the first question. Second question, if you plant an apple seed, what kind of tree will you get? Third question, if you plant a peach tree, what kind of tree will you get? Thank you, Sudevi. Yes. If you plant an orange seed, you will get a mango tree.
I thought you were going to say a mango seed, so I thought I'd be hip and get it.
I can't believe you. She thought I was going to say mango, so she put mango before. Okay. So this is quite easy to understand. And the evidence that has been given is that according to everything's nature, during a particular time in the astrological conjunction known as Svati Nakshatra, that same rain falls, but according to individuals' natures, different things manifest. So when that rain falls during the Svati Nakshatra constellation, at that time, the oyster makes a pearl. Within the head of an elephant comes an elephant pearl. Think it's gems on the head of a hood of a snake, gorochan from the hoof of a calf. So according to its nature, it manifests what its nature is. So this example was given. In the same with all souls, according to each individual soul's particular individual nature. When it is watered by the Harikatha of Guru, the Harikatha of the Vaishnavas, it will only awaken its nature. It won't awaken something else's nature. The orange seed will not turn into a mango tree, Sudevi. So, Srila Gurudev is saying, just like the omniscient supersoul present in the core of everyone's heart, the Guru has the special characteristic of perfectly knowing our heart. Remember, Diksha and Shiksha Gurus are the external manifestation of the supersoul or Guru in the heart. Because the Jiva cannot directly see the soul, the supersoul in the heart. Jive shakshat nahitate guru chaitya rupe. Because he cannot directly perceive the presence of the supersoul or Paramatma within his heart, then that Paramatma or the Guru within the heart manifests to the external senses of the Jiva in the form of Diksha and Shiksha Gurus. He knows the eternal constitutional mood of our soul, our eternal relationship with Bhagavan, and accordingly he connects us with him. Then, by supplying the water of hearing, chanting, and remembering, he nourishes that relationship and cuts down anything that obstructs that nourishment with the strong axe of his words. He does this so expertly that the sadhaka barely notices, but all the while, the needful is accomplished. So Paramatma knows. He sees everything inside. In the same way, the manifestation of Paramatma, Guru, also sees everything inside. He knows what's there. He knows our nature. And he helps us according to our nature. So he gives us the nourishment to awaken what is already within us. This is what the bona fide Guru and genuine Vaishnavas do. They do not have bodies of flesh and bone, which are subject to change and which may die at any moment. They are the eternal associates of the most merciful incarnation of Krishna, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who descended to deliver the fallen souls in this age of Kali. Guru and Vaishnavas are among the intimate companions of the divine couple, Śrī Radha Krishna. The way Śrī Bhagavan extends his loving mercy to the souls bound by Maya is by sending associates like these in the form of Vaishnavas. So, just so we understand this point clearly, if you want to understand it more clearly, I recommend that you read in the biography of our Param Gurudev, Acharya Keshari, the life and precepts of Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshava Gosvāmī Mahārāja. I recommend you read the section entitled Śrī Gurudev and the Swarup of the Jiva. And then there's a really big enhanced commentary on that. Basically quotes from all of our acharyas, from so many scriptures and literatures placed in that book, the new book, the Swarup of the Jiva. And this was one of the main points of our Gurudev's preaching and teaching. He had a few pillars, and this was one of them. And so, if there's any confusion about it, you will see that the most brilliant, most dedicated disciples of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada came together in this conversation, among whom were our Param Gurudev Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshava Gosvāmī Mahārāja, Srila Bhakti Rakshak Shrira Mahārāja, Srila Bhakti Dayita Madhav Gosvāmī Mahārāja, Bhakti Jivan Janardhan Gosvāmī Mahārāja, Bhakti Vicharya Javar Mahārāja, so many stalwarts. Srila Gurudev said you cannot imagine the level of their qualification. And they all came together, and this question was asked by one of the God brothers, very humbly. And they answered it with all evidence from Shastra, very concisely, And unanimously, they all understood this particular subject and also cleared the doubt of this god brother. This is our Guru Varga. This is coming from Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, Srila Bhaktivedānta Thakur, and all of our Guru Varga, Srila Bhaktivedānta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Govinda Mahārāja, they're all telling the same thing. Srila Bhaktivedānta Bhakti Mahārāja, our Srila Gurudev, definitely, again and again and again, he said, and I'm going to repeat, there's even a video clip of it, he said, Guru does not give anything new, does not give you your swarup. He awakens what's already within. He doesn't give you your swarup. Gurudev said never and never. So it's not that he's making you into something different. He's only nourishing what's already inside. When my Gurudev says never and never, I take it to mean never and never. Maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. But usually when he says that, he means it. And I like to, because he said it so many times, I accept that that is the conception that he was preaching and that he wanted us to also preach. In fact, he has said very, very confidently that even if all other books, everything were to be lost, and only Param Gurudev's biography were to remain, nothing would be lost. In other words, that's the conception you will end up with. If every other scripture were to be lost, still, if that book remained, that Sri Gurudev and the Swarupa of the Jiva, that would be the conclusion we would be left with. If we want to please our Srila Gurudev, if we want to please our Param Gurudev, if we want to please our Guru Varga and Guru Parampara, then we should accept their teachings, accept their understanding and their conceptions. Then we will be considered to be under guidance. Srila Gurudev said, if you don't, then what is the meaning of being under guidance? Someone said, he asked, does anyone have the right to change the teachings of Gurudev? Gurudev asked the question. One devotee said, well, maybe if. Gurudev said, no, never, never, and never. If one does that so whimsically, then what is the meaning of being under guidance? Under guidance means we accept their understanding. What they have given us, we should accept that. Because they are, as Gurudev said, the very intimate companions of the divine couple, Sri Radha and Krishna, and the eternal associates of Sri Satchidananda Gaurahari, and they are being sent by Bhagavan. He's extending his mercy and sending them in the form of Vaishnavas, which means they're not like us. Gurudev just said they don't have bodies of flesh and bone. It means they're not material, ordinary, mundane, mortal personalities. They are transcendental. So their understanding must also be transcendental. And to think otherwise is attributing some mundane conception onto them. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada said, this is the greatest offense to the holy name, to think Sri Gurudev to be an ordinary, mundane mortal. This is the greatest offense. He said, because from that, then there is no meaning to your surrender. And the first step of bhakti is Ado Guru Parashray. How can you surrender to someone thinking they're mundane and mortal like ourselves? So it is the greatest offense to Harinam Prabhu. So we need to have this vision that they are transcendental, they are spiritual. They are not bound by the material world like we are. And they don't have the 4 defects of conditioned souls. Anyone who knows those 4 in Sanskrit, wow, you will get a tray of donuts made by Isha Thakurani when you go to Sardinia and you participate in Harinam Sankirtan. She said she's happy to do so, so I'm offering that. I would also like to be there at the same time. So, whoever knows the 4 defects in Sanskrit, I'll tell you in English. Illusion, the tendency to make mistakes, imperfect senses, and the tendency to cheat others. These four do not occur within the words or the activities of the Tattvadarshis, the all-knowing or transcendental gurus, divine personalities. These four defects do not occur within those personalities. It occurs within us, but not them. Therefore, their opinion is non-different from Shastra. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada said, what is Shastra? If you look at it, it is nothing other than the words of the pure devotees. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha, then Shri Parikshit Uvacha, Shri Shuka Uvacha, Yudhishthira Uvacha, Shri Narad Uvacha. It is quoting authorities, quoting the pure devotees. That is Shastra. Shastra is made up of questions and answers and the words of the pure devotees. So really, this is our imperative duty. Who are we to overguess our Gurudev and our Guru Varga? We don't have any capacity to do so. We are bound by these four defects. They are beyond the four defects. So what they tell and their understanding, Gurudev said, don't try to take your own understanding. You should accept the understanding of your Gurudev and your Guru Varga. And this is how we can begin to realize or understand the truth. Because the truth is transcendental, and transcendental is not something which is captured by our ascending method. Rather, it is descending out of mercy. And our capacity is to accept and receive that mercy as our Guru Parampara has handed it down. As they have given it, then we must accept that. They have understood. So this point is very important. Did anyone post the Sanskrit? Oh, come on. A whole tray of donuts made by Isha Thakurani? I'll just leave it at that when you... Ooh, okay, the time is done. So now, because there you're getting it close. Robi, Rohini Dulal, Karanapatava is one of them. Yeah, but they have to get all four right. I'll give you a hint.
They should get a donut for at least one.
All right, you get a donut for Karanapatava. Come on, a tray. So, we have just discussed this point, but it's quite a heavy point. And so we need to always end with something sweet, because today's quite a heavy day. Jai. So Gurudev starts on the next part, and I'm just going to read a little bit so that this is where your mind and consciousness can be. Sri Krishna's lips have been compared to red bimba fruits. Bimba rakta adharam. Although ripened bimba fruit is extremely soft and beautiful, in reality, it is far excelled by the softness and beauty of Sri Krishna's lips. Let me just read that again. Srila Gurudev is so expert, so rasik and bhavuk, full of transcendental bhavs, and so full of ras, nectar, and so although ripened bimba fruit is extremely soft and beautiful, in reality, it is far excelled by the softness and beauty of Sri Krishna's lips. Still, even though Sri Krishna's lips are so beautiful, Gurudev, he constantly hankers to drink the nectar of the lips of his beloved gopis. Then what must their lips be like? The most clear example of how Sri Krishna hankers to drink the nectar of the gopis' lips is found in Brahmar Geet, in the conversation between Srimati Radhika and a bumblebee. Sakrid adhara shudham swam mohinim paya yitva
Sumanasa iva sadhyastatyajesman bhavadrik Paricharati katam tat pada padmam nupadma Yapibata hrita cheta hyutama shloka jalpai. Śrīmad Bhagavatam 10:47-13. Śrīmati Radhika is speaking to the bumblebee. Just as you abandon a flower after drinking its honey, Sri Krishna completely bewildered us by making us drink the nectar of his lips only once and then suddenly abandoned us. Why does goddess Padma, that is Lakshmi Devi, who herself is just like a lotus flower, serve his lotus feet? It seems that her mind has certainly been stolen by his cunning words. However, we are not naive like Lakshmi Devi. So, we will continue on this point tomorrow. This is the conversation glorifying the beauty, the softness, the lusciousness of Krishna's transcendental lotus-like lips. And then, of course, Srila Gurudev said he's hankering after Srimati Radhika's and the gopis. So how much more amazing must theirs be? So only Gurudev has this capacity of bringing us into this kind of consciousness where we're able to absorb ourselves and becoming fascinated with the transcendental, beautiful lotus-like lips of Krishna and the gopis. So Srila Gurudev ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Rupanuga Guru Varga ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Okay, let's see. Sanskrit, please. Okay. Keshav Priya. Karin Kopins. I only knew in English, I had to look it up, sorry. Imperfect senses. Karanapatava. Illusion. Pramada. Mistakes. Brahm. Actually, it's the other way. And cheating. Vipralipsa. So, Karanapatava means imperfect senses. Brahm means illusion. Pramada literally means prone to doing crazy things, making mistakes. Pramada. Mada means madness, and pra means kind of like this tendency to do this, prone toward it. And then vipralipsa means cheating. So these are the four defects of the conditioned soul not present within the all-transcendental personalities. But now we got to get back to the lips in that bhajan. Bandhu sange jarita varanga parihas. Bandhu sange jarita varanga parihas. So, in there, the original one by Rupa Goswami, Smeram Bhangi Traya Parichitam Shachi Vishtin Drishtim Vangshi Nyastadara Kishalayan Ujvalam Chandrakena Govindakyam Haritunmita Keshitirtopakante Ma Prekshishtais Tabayadisake Bandhu Sange Stiranga. There, Krishna's lips are compared to freshly sprouted leaves. How soft and how plump, how beautiful, how attractive. So, the gopis are so attracted to Krishna's lips, and they even express jealousy toward his flute. How is it that this piece of lifeless bamboo, this is how they're looking at it, is able to steal that property which belongs to us? So they're practically jealous of his flute. How attractive, how sweet, how wonderful must Krishna's lips be? Look at those lips. So Srila Gurudev ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Jai Jai Śrī Radhe, Jai Jai all very much for being with us today and giving us the opportunity to remember the beautiful teachings of our Gurudev and Guru Varga. Also, we'd like to express our indebtedness to each and every one of you who are giving us the opportunity on a daily basis to follow the order of our Gurudev. He said, even when I'm no longer on this sphere, I want that you continue to travel and preach my mission everywhere and to nourish my disciples on my behalf. So by your presence, you're giving us the opportunity to serve our Gurudev, which is our life and soul. So we are indebted to each and every one of you for that. Also, although Anupam Prabhu has just departed, his soul is still moving, and so we can continue to pray for his Atma. Especially at this time, the more that the Vaishnavas pray for anyone, the better it is for them. So please continue to pray that Sri Guru, that the Vaishnavas, that Nityananda Prabhu Mahaprabhu, that Radha and Krishna are merciful to him, who bring him very close to their lotus feet and propel him rapidly on the path of loving devotion, on the path of bhakti.
Thank you.
So, we look forward to being with all of you tomorrow.
Dandavat
Dandavat pranam.
pranam.
Can you give a close-up of Krishna's lips? Look at those lips.
But look at
But
those
look at,
lips.
yeah, he's obsessed with hers, but guess
But
what?
look
Both
at
of them
those
together.
lips.
Radha Vinobi Hariju ki jai, Shachinandan Gaura Hari ki jai.
Radhe Radhe, dear
Radhe
Vaishnavas.
Radhe.